Hey y'all, welcome back to the Talk of Fame podcast. I'm Connie Montini. For this episode, I'm so excited to welcome back Billy Pinckney. Billy is a 21-year-old digital content creator and author from Little Falls, New Jersey. His passion for the game of baseball was prevented at a young age when he became a bat boy for the New Jersey Jackals independent team in 2013 at age 11. He spent his summers in a professional clubhouse where he learned integrals of the game. He began to interview players in 2015, was hired by the organization as a press box and player assistant. In 2018 and in 2019, he assisted the field manager in assembling a league championship winning squad. In 2022, he was named the director of digital content, and he always had a passion for growing the game of baseball and finding ways to assist the younger generation. In 2023, he published his book Passion Prevails to help youth players navigate the careers as they face adversity. He recently graduated from Montclair State University with a degree in sports communication. I have been following Billy's work for a hot minute now, and it's been really a hot minute since we last chatted. I know our first time basically this year in a new year. But welcome back to the podcast, Billy. I'm so excited to have you back on.
Yes, Kylie, thank you for having me. Excited to be here. I know it's been a while since our last interview, and I'm just happy to be on here.
Thank you so much. So what you been up to? I know you've been very busy. I've been seeing all over social media, and with right now you are with the Pinstripe Pals this weekend for the interview. So what's up with you?
Yeah, no, definitely trying to stay busy. 2025 is going to be a pretty cool one, I believe, just with different opportunities and just continuing to grow and try to create content that resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, this year I've been doing some work with Perfect Game. It's a youth baseball organization, and I'll be heading out to some different events that they have and different showcases that they're putting on to really try to create content, help out the younger players, share their stories. And then, of course, you just mentioned with the Pinstripe Pride event this weekend, it's going to be really cool because they have dozens of former Yankee players signing autographs. It's essentially a big time Yankees card show. And you have that many players in one room. It's a pretty cool thing because you really don't get that kind of reunion very often. And they've been able to do it for the past few years now. So I'm excited for that and just ready to get back out to the ballpark. It's almost time.
I know about a month or so where I'm so
Yes.
excited for spring training. I know as we were talking about before we started recording, I was debating on going to the thing because as I used to work for the minor league team, so I was like, not bad to meet some of the players, but as a Dodger
Yeah.
fan, I'm like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this, even though it's about an hour and a half away from where I am. I'm just like, I don't know how
Right.
to feel about this one as a Dodger.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Yankee fans. It might be a little uncomfortable. I don't know.
Hey, I can just show up wearing a Dodgers jersey in front of
Yep.
Yankee fans. That won't go over well for the last,
No,
with the last
especially the
season.
last few months. I don't know.
It might not go over very well. But you held multiple roles with the Jackals, from press box and player assistant to director of digital content. Like, how did those experiences prepare you for your career in sports communication?
Yeah, it was definitely instrumental because I feel like that really helped establish the foundation of my career because I had several different roles that really didn't have much to do with each other. They were pretty distinct. They were pretty different. Usually, if you're doing media related work, you're not going to be helping out with the procurement of players and assembling a team roster. But I had an interest in that. That was more of the front office type work. And I figured, you know what, if I could bring value in this way, why not do it? Because you never know down the road in 20 years, I might like that end of sports a little bit better. Yeah, I have no clue what'll happen in 20, 30 years from now. But yeah, it really began when I was a bat boy. And then that then opened the door to just have the access, be around the players, be around the stadium all the time. And then eventually I decided to start creating some videos and pulling out my phone, getting some content, and then it just evolved from there. Was curious. I think curiosity, I truly believe, is one of the main things that you need to have in order to be successful in anything. Because if you're curious, you're going to find a way to learn more. You're going to find a way to become more knowledgeable in a particular subject. And that's really how it ended up coming together. And those two roles that I had there, both in the press box and then with the players, it definitely set me up pretty well for my future now in this industry.
Yeah, like I know with me and you, we're always like willing to go to games. You're always willing to talk to players, whether it's with my hometown team in the minor leagues or your hometown team with the Jackals or something. So like, I'm the type of
Exactly.
person that like no matter if they're a minor league team or they're an MLB team, I'm always like, I just want to meet the players and talk to the players to learn more about
Yeah.
instead of like just sticking to one certain thing, then moving on with my life.
Right. Oh yeah, it's one of the greatest parts, just being able to have conversations with the players and just relating to them and having those conversations. I truly love that. I think if I had to pick one of the top three parts of being with a team and working with players is the fact that you could just connect with them on a personal level.
Mhm.
Because even though if it's a minor league team, whether it's a minor league team, major league team, if you're around the players each day, you have a mutual respect for them. They respect you because you're putting in the hard work that you're doing, even though it's a little bit different than what they're doing. But it's really cool to really create those relationships and see them in a different light than how the fans see them.
That's true. Like, do you have a favorite moment with the players ever since you worked with the Jackals or just interviewing players? Like, do you have a favorite moment with the players in the last couple of years?
Sure, I'd say one of the my go-to favorite moments was when we won the championship, and that year was 2019. We were a pretty solid team. We were above 500. We weren't necessarily absolutely destroying the competition in the league, but we were a solid squad. And there were struggles throughout the year with players, right? There were injuries, there were visa issues that we had, there were all these different kinds of things that came into play. And eventually things just came together. The guys fought, they fought through those challenges and those obstacles, and they ended up coming out on top. And just to be able to share that with them was really special when you're able to share that common feeling of being able to fight through something and be resilient. That's really what that kind of thing is all about. You come together as a team unit. And after we won that, it was just really special to just share that with them and ultimately come out on top. So I'd say that's always a moment that I look back on because all of us together, we had that same mentality. And that's why I believe we did win. But then also last year, a couple years, I don't even know if 1 or 2 years now. The years are all combining. It seems like in my head now, it's becoming blurry. But I went to Dubai and it was a new baseball league that started up called Baseball United and I was able to bat boy in the dugout with those guys. So Robinson Cano was out there, Nick Swisher was helping out on the more in the front office side of things, and there were so many big leaguers in there. And these were guys who I grew up watching in the big leagues, who I was just hanging around and just interacting with. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. So just to, I'm grateful for those experiences, but I've also been able to learn by just observing and watching these guys go about their business.
I honestly, if I was in that dugout, I wouldn't be able to contain myself, to be honest. Like with the
Yeah.
players I grew up watching, I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is this a little kid's dream right here.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and I've begun to, over the years, you realize, man, these are just normal people. These aren't like you look at them on TV, and a lot of times as a fan, you idolize players,
Mhm.
but when you get to know them as a person, when you get to be around them more consistently, you realize that they're just normal people, and they want to be treated like normal people who are just talented in a sport. Just as someone like us might be more talented in something media related, or somebody in finance might be more talented in using numbers. They're more talented on the athletic field, and they obviously it's a spectator sport where everybody knows who you are, and everyone wants to know a lot of things about you. But they treat you well, and I've had some fantastic experiences just through the interactions with different players.
That's true. Like, what was the best interaction with a player that you had? Like, especially
Oh,
with working with the Jackals and all of that. I know for me, there's one that sticks out on top of my head as I say it, but do you have like a favorite interaction that you had? Whether
Well, I'll
it's
tell
with
you what, during my first years at Bat Boy in 2013, I was a young kid, 11 years old, in the clubhouse. I was like a little brother to these guys. They would pick me up. They would like, throw me up in the air, throw me on the couch. Like it was just a lot of fun stuff. So a lot of those interactions I still carry with me today, which was just an awesome experience. And then as far as interviewing players and being around the guys a little bit later on, I'd say I always go back to Nick Swisher as being my favorite interview because of the energy and the enthusiasm he always has with him. And I'm trying to think of different instances or moments where players have taken out that time to really chat with me. I always say Michael Strahan was always fantastic. During that first time I talked to him, he was incredible. Just there were security guards around. There were people who really didn't want me to talk to him, and he was like, "No, how long do you need?" I was like, "Just a minute or two." And he was like, yeah, let's do it, let's do it. So he pulled me to the side, and we did it. We did the interview. So those, whenever you know if someone's busy or someone took time out of their day to chat with you, even though they are being rushed around by other people, or you know that they have a busy schedule to attend to, it means a lot to this day that a lot of these players took time out of their day to chat with me. And I try to do the same with other people, and I'll continue to do what I can to help give back to others who are coming up, because some people reach out to me too. And there are young kids out there who are wanting to be in this industry or have questions. And I just think immediately back to those conversations that the players had with me and the time that it gave me.
I love it. Like I was the same way. Like every time I met with a player or whether it's working for a minor league team or it is going to games or spring training, those are literally like my favorite moments, and I still
Yeah.
carry with them on to me this day. And I'm like the same with other people if they message me or something. But I
Yeah.
remember, like I mean, I met millions of players to a point where I probably met everyone by chance, especially going to Philly spring training in 2020, really right a month before the pandemic hit. So it was right
Yeah.
before that. I met a bunch of players to the point where they basically all knew me, my name, even though I didn't tell them my name. Maybe one guy just immediately told
Yeah.
me. But basically, 2 years ago when I was with the Rail Riders, I was basically standing next, like basically in the back, basically right by their locker room. So basically, our room that we kind of had to do promotion stuff was right next to the dugout where you go down to the dugout. So basically, we'll be standing there like when the players will come up, going down for to practice or ready for the game or whatever. I remember, I'm not sure if I actually m mentioned this in a lot like last interview I do with you or somebody else, but I was standing there and the Rare Riders were actually playing the Bisons, which was a Blue Jays minor league team.
Yes. Yeah.
And basically, I was standing there, and basically, Robert Brantley came. Like, basically, he was on the team at the time. And he's with the Rays minor league team now, but at the
Yeah.
time, he was with the Rays. I mean, not the Rays, the Blue Jays. So
Blue
I was
Jays.
sitting there, and basically, like, he used to be with the Road Riders like a year or two prior, but I wasn't with the team then. And so basically, he just came up talking to us, like asking how we're doing and everything. And I was like, oh, perfect. It's just,
Yeah.
trying to be conversation. Then maybe a next series later, I was standing there, like by the dugout, waiting, like kind of wasting time until my next thing. And basically, he came up and I was by myself. I was literally staying there by myself, just wasting time, just trying to figure out what to do. And basically came over. He was like, "Oh, hey Kylie, like how's it going? Like how the interview's going?" Like he kind of knew what was all me stuff on social media. And he was just asking about like, we should do a podcast interview and all of that. And I'm like, what? Like,
That's
okay.
great.
I was like, bet. Like we need to make this happen. He was honestly one of the most like genuine guys out there to the point where he will go out during a rain delay to talk to fans and then talk to us if we to make learn more about us and what we do. And honestly, that was honestly one of my favorite moments as a fan and as, someone who loves the game of baseball because one of my favorite things is honestly interacting with the players because they're humans. They're the same people as us, even though not a lot of people think so. Even if they're
Right.
bigger names than we are, or maybe have more money than us in a way or something. Like
Yeah.
they're the exact same humans, and it warms literally my heart to know that there's people like that who are willing to know you instead of moving on, not talking to anybody.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. And you carry with you the rest of your life. You remember those experiences, you remember those interactions. And I remember meeting Rob as well. Actually, I saw him this past spring training almost a year ago. I saw him down there
Really?
in Florida at the Rays spring training, and he was like, "Billy," he recognized me, and we chatted for a couple minutes. But yeah, you meet people like that, and it has an impact on you, and people really keep that with them for a long time, whether you're a fan, whether you're someone in the industry. That's what's great about this game.
It is. That's true. So
Yeah.
Do you have any interviews planned for the upcoming baseball season? As it's starting in the next month or so, which is crazy. It really flew by. Like, do you have anything planned right now?
It's crazy. I'm working on scheduling some events with Perfect Game, and we'll be going to some of the different events that they have. So you never know who's going to be there. But as far as big leaguers go, this weekend obviously is a big weekend for different players. So it's more of like a you'll see who you get type thing. So
Mhm.
it's not really a individually scheduled interaction with the player. But I don't have any others off the top of my head scheduled for now, but things are going to come up. So I'm looking forward to that. A lot of things happen last minute. A lot of things happen just, in a few days notice. So you never know. But yeah, it'll definitely be a productive year.
Well, I'm sure. So, you came out with a book called Passion Prevails, a baseball's top performance advisee players on maximizing their experience
Yes.
is collaboration that consists of stories, lessons by some of the most successful industry individuals in the game of
Right.
baseball. I know we didn't really talk about it last interview, but what type of experience and knowledges do MLB and minor league players and coaches provide in the book for you?
Yeah, what the book is really a compilation of quite a few years worth of interviews. So it's largely made up of the interviews that I've conducted with players, especially relating to advice and wisdom for younger athletes, how to deal with adversity, how to deal with pressure as an athlete, the challenges that you face to not quit, don't give up, because a lot of kids are quitting sports across youth sports. It's about 70% of youth athletes quit by age 13, and they just don't have fun anymore. They're not enjoying it as much as they really should be. And the messages that are in there primarily relate to their stories of why they didn't give up, their stories of maybe things that they went through or things that they noticed. Maybe they experienced injuries firsthand. They know what it feels like. They know what it feels like to not feel like there's a lot of hope because your body's not feeling that great and to not give up, not give in, but continue to push through that in order to break through and continue to play. There are a lot of good stories, a lot of good messages, and there are some current former Yankees, as Waldo Cabrera threw a note or two in there. We have David Cohn and other players who spent a long time in this game. So I'm sure if you add up the years played of all these players in this book, you're going to get a lot of years of experience, both at the major league and minor league level. And it's really interesting too because there are a lot of major leaguers, there are a lot of minor leaguers, minor league coaches, guys who never made it to the big leagues. So you have a lot of different perspectives. And that's
Mhm.
what I also enjoy too, because sometimes having perspective from someone who never made it or someone who was a college coach, it provides another perspective and element where maybe someone thought something a little bit differently. Because sometimes some of the best coaches weren't the best players. And
Mhm.
that seems like a true statement that is true across all different sports. Sometimes the best players who ever played really can't teach. They can't coach too well for some reason. So yeah, I'm really happy about the diverse content that's in this book. And I recently published a children's book as well to try to touch on even younger group of individuals, even younger kids to just instill similar lessons at a younger age.
Ooh, I saw that. I did see that you published a book. Like,
Yes.
that's awesome. Like, what is that
Yes.
about? Is it kind of similar to like the book that you did before, or what is it kind of about?
Yeah, I have a copy right here. This is the children's book. That's Billy as a Bat Boy back in the day. And it's essentially Billy is trying to learn lessons from his professional buddies at the pro level, which was true. And he learns a lesson, he has a problem that he's dealing with, but then he goes back to his teammates in Little League and he goes and teaches them and is a leader and is a good teammate and tries to help inspire them. So it's a story where Billy's kind of the middleman. He's in the middle. He's in the situation where he doesn't know what to do. He's got a problem, but he goes to his pro buddies and they're able to teach him and it helps him improve his career and the career of his friends.
That's awesome. I did see you post a bunch of stuff, and it's really great to
Yes.
have someone else perspective on baseball because there's not a lot of like kids baseball books that I've seen recently.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's great to see. And I feel like that's an area where there needs to be even more attention being given to the kids, to the players who are coming up, and make sure that they have the right values and ability to be the best teammate possible because a lot of today's culture and society is take, take, take. What can I do for myself? What can I do for my own career, my own stats? And there needs to be more of an emphasis on how can I help my teammates? How can I help others? How can I bring others up alongside me? And that's part of the reason for the book and what we're trying to do with it.
That's awesome. So like the last question I have for you is like what's next for you and everything you're doing?
Yeah, and this crazy industry, as I'm sure you know, and you'll continue to see, it's a crazy industry.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited for the upcoming year here in 2025, and I feel like there's going to be different opportunities to create content with different teams and go to different ballparks. I know, as I mentioned before, Perfect Game is a large, large baseball organization, primarily focused on youth athletes, and I'm hosting a show with them. It's called On Deck and I'll be going to some different events that they have, and that's going to make up quite a bit of my summer probably. And then also the pro games as well. Hopefully, I'll be getting out to some big league ballparks and talking to fans, talking to different players, and we'll see spring training. What else happens there? You never know. It's
We'll
crazy.
see what happens. Who knows? Maybe another Yankee Dodger World Series. We'll see.
Yeah, it's looking like it could very well be the case with the way the Dodgers are stacking up their team. It's unbelievable. They have like
I
10
know it's
starting pitchers.
crazy. It's so
And then the
unbelievable. I'm
Yankees.
so surprised by how many players they sign at the players though. I mean, it still surprises me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They have so many quality arms and even hitters as well. I don't know how they're gonna have them all up at the same time. They're gonna be betting on
Honestly,
injuries.
same though. I don't know how we're gonna handle anybody else though. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if we win all games or most of them with all these pitchers.
yeah. We'll see. We'll
As
see.
long
It's
as
gonna be
they
crazy.
don't get hurt easily, like Kershaw, then we'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's the problem nowadays with the injuries, and I think they're setting themselves up in a very interesting way because last year they had a lot of injuries, but still won the World Series.
Yeah,
This
which
year
is
they're adding even
surprising.
more arms, and these guys are supposed to come back healthy this year. So if they're starting off with maybe one injury, maybe two injuries, they're still in really good shape because
Yeah.
of the rest of the additions.
I know, like especially with the injuries, I didn't think we'll make it past the first two series, if not the first one in the postseason. But
Yeah,
things always happen with the pitching. I always thought we were gonna make the
yeah.
first set, but I didn't expect to make the World Series. To be quite honest.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Baseball's a crazy world, and the postseason, it's all at zero. Everybody starts on the same playing field once the postseason comes.
I know it's a different type of
Oh,
energy.
oh yeah.
But that is the best way to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much, Billy, for coming on and joining with us again. We'll have to do a little preseason, mid-season update about what interviews you done, everything. You're always welcome to come back on whenever you want. Thank you so much for just coming on and taking time for everything you're doing. It means so much and appreciate coming on and taking time.
Thank you, Kylie. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.